Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Abby and I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids, ages 16 to almost 3 this summer. So I'll have a 3-year-old in just a few days here actually, by the time you're seeing this video. And today I'm sharing our very simple summer learning plans. I'm sure, like everyone I talk to, most homeschooling moms are never satisfied with where the school year ended, or you at least do not want your kids to be doing nothing through the summer. So everyone that I know has some form of a summer learning schedule or books that they want their kids to read or workbooks they're working on. Today I'm sharing what we're doing, but I am just ready for a very simple summer. At the same time, I'm not satisfied with where we ended this last school year, but we do eventually need to call it quits here on the school year. So we're stopping mid-June, and we are going to switch gears into a more simplified learning plan, but we're not stopping by any means. So if you are interested in what our simple summer learning plans are, then give this video a thumbs up and stick around. Okay, so like I said, it's a very simple plan I have this summer. I've got 3 things to share with you today. The first thing is what I have always done since my oldest was in kindergarten, and that is a summer surprise party. My kids actually have never known, and I don't know why I thought of this that very first year. I think it was probably like late at night, and I was like prepping schoolwork, and I'm like, you know what, let's just call it summer, like, you know, kindergarten, preschool, let's just be done. And so I started this tradition of a summer surprise party, and it has continued on, and my oldest is going into her junior year, and she still has never known when it's her last day of school. So coming up here soon, she's within earshot. I don't think she can hear me right now, but just in case, coming up very soon, it will be summer. They usually wake up and there's a big sign somewhere that says surprise, welcome to summer, and we have s'mores for breakfast, and there's like usually pool floats or some board games or just some fun summer learning, summer crafting stuff laid out. And we're gonna do that again this year. So we do s'mores for breakfast. Like I said, that's been the tradition forever. I can't even stomach the thought, but the kids love it. And I have those like little plug-in s'mores stations like for parties and things that I'll set out. To that I got, and I have it over here, but you guys know what it is. I don't need to show it to you. I've got the Biscoff cookies, I've got graham crackers and the fudge stripe cookies and the Reese's Thins and the marshmallows and Hershey's bars and all that. So I'll have all that sitting out. That'll be on the table. And then we'll also have like bacon and eggs off to the side for those of us who need protein to function in the morning. And then this year, my youngest, well, one of my younger kids had an open joint surgery, pretty major surgery, and I knew that she would not be able to like go in a float in the pool right away. I didn't want to like buy the kids a new sprinkler and all that just because she needs a little bit longer to heal. One of the reasons that I held off on starting our summer break, one is because they were definitely not ready, like at the end of May. We don't start school until Labor Day now, so I just didn't want to call it quits too soon, and they also were, I just didn't feel like they were ready to stop and even just continuing their work a few days throughout the summer. There was still too much work to be done, so I waited until like mid-June. But I also wanted to wait because I knew that this child was having surgery and she wouldn't be able to swim for 6 weeks. So I wanted to get a few weeks into her recovery first before I called it summer, and she was just being teased by all the kids being in the pool all day long and she couldn't be in. So instead of floats this year, I got a few fun little things. We're pretty well stocked on floats anyway. I got her these little water blasters that she can have to spray her siblings from her pool chair. And then I got a bunch of waterproof board games to play outside in the pool or by the pool, depending on who I'm playing with. I figured it would be a lot of me sitting at the stairs with my youngest one swimming, and then sitting next to her playing games with her, kind of half in the water, half out with the two of them. So I got these waterproof playing cards, which we've actually owned these before, but over the years the pieces have gone missing. I also got this waterproof Spot It and Uno Splash. So these are all waterproof card games. I also grabbed this poolside taco cat goat cheese pizza game, which they love this game. This like the regular one, so I know the poolside one will be fun. And then the last thing, and this will be blown up and on the table that morning, is this floating pool games table. So they can like put their little drinks in there and play if they're playing actually in the water. So I thought that that would be really fun as well. So first on the to-do list for our summer learning plans is to set up that summer surprise party. The second thing is I always do a book tasting for them. This is something I've done for the last few years, and I will link my video from last year down below. I may or may not film this year's book tasting. It's just a little extra effort to film it, so I don't know. Sometimes that takes the fun out of it for me, or sometimes filming motivates me. So we'll see where I'm at by the time we do that. The book tasting we won't be able to do on the first week of summer like usual, just because my kids' travel plans aren't all cohesive with one another. I've got some kids going to one camp, some kids are doing another thing, and so I'm actually gonna wait until toward the end of June to do the book tasting, and then that way, from that point forward, they can be consistently working on the book list that they select. But what a book tasting is this is how I've done it. I've always set up a themed table decoration. Last year we kind of did like an old diner, like an Americana diner, and I will lay out 10 books that I want them to read that summer. I'll give them a set amount of time, and as they're snacking and they're at their little diner, they're reviewing the books, they're looking through the pages, they're reading the descriptions, they're getting a quick sense of the author's writing style, and then they take this little menu, the book tasting menu that I create, and they rate them 1 through 10 on how much they want to read them or in what order they want to read them. And so I ask them to each read about 10 books each summer, but they have a ton of other books that they like to read just going off of our shelves as well. So last year, like I said, I did like an Americana diner theme, and I created a menu if anybody would like to download that and use it in their home. You can download that for free. I linked it below in the description box of that video. So definitely check that out if you're looking for a fun way to encourage summer reading. This year, I think I'm gonna do like a lemony theme. So I have like this yellow tablecloth in mind, and I have a particular set of plates that I'm thinking. So I might do like lemon bars and like sunshine, kind of like bistro theme for our summer book tasting. So I have to create the menu and stuff for all of that, and I have to finish selecting the books for that. So that is coming later this month. I haven't done that yet, but that is also another major component of our summer learning, because summer reading is something that I do ask them to do every single day. We read every day. They have books they're working on every day throughout the school year and through the summer. So that is the second element of our summer learning plans. And then the third thing here, I actually wrote this down because I didn't want to forget anything. So the third thing is just their actual work, the physical worksheets or what they're working on from the last school year that they haven't finished yet. And for that, I'm just using the same clipboard system that I've used in the past, where every day, every kid has a clipboard with their name on it, and I just clip a little bit of work to it and write a note, like a cover page of what I want them to do. And every time they finish that clipboard full of work, they can get a little reward. And I have used the same rewards, you guys, for years. I used to do like mini soda cans, but the kids love Ollipops, and so I have stocked us up on Ollipops, so they can either grab an Ollipop, they can get a mini ice cream bar or a popsicle. Even my high schoolers still love this system, so why change it if it's something they love? Or they can bank 15 minutes of video game or screen time during the week. As a family, we don't ever have the TV on during the week. It's not something that's like a habit here, and we prefer it to stay that way. So if they want to play video games or they want to watch a show or something like that, they bank it by their summer learning. So they can just keep banking that, save that 15 minutes. I keep track of it in my phone. They have, once they have like an hour, they want to cash it in. I mean, I don't let them get to like 8 hours where they're watching something for a whole day, but they like to both, especially my boys, will each be like banking, till they have a half an hour. Each of them have a half an hour, and then they'll play a video game together, kind of a thing. So that's something that they also love if they don't want like an Ollipop or a mini soda or a mini ice cream bar. Like those little mini Oreo ice cream bars with the mini cookie sandwiches, kind of a thing. These clipboards of work take max 1 hour a day. Most of the time I'll hand them these clipboards in the afternoons because right now their summer plans, especially my older ones, have football workouts, or my daughter has a little part-time job at a ministry and she works there more in the summer or anything like that. Most of that happens in the morning time. So living in South Florida, we have afternoon thunderstorms almost every day in the summer. It's the perfect time after lunch when we're kind of in that in between time of the day to just hand them the clipboard and they can get an hour's worth of work done. And it's typically not going to be anything more than 3 things total. Maybe maybe one of the items will be like do a teaching textbooks lesson. One might be a grammar worksheet. One might be finishing a science lesson. My oldest 2 still have a few lessons left of science, so it might be finishing a science lesson. It might be something like baking, a recipe that I have. Some of it's more like life skill stuff. Sometimes I'll print off fun escape rooms from Teachers Pay Teacher, like math escape rooms or history escape rooms, and either have them do it individually or together. Sometimes it's watching a documentary and just writing down a narration, just fun things like that too. It's not always like school, 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 but it will be 3 things and no more. And it will not take more than an hour unless they drag it out and it takes more than an hour. But it's just gonna be a simple clipboard system that I've used for years to clip 3 items, 1 hour's worth of work, and then they can earn a reward at the end of the day. And yeah, oh, and then sometimes I did write this down as well. Sometimes it will be a family subject. So sometimes my older 3 or my older 4 or even just my older 2, because there's some things that they do, like Plutarch study they do together. They might have the same item written on their clipboard to work together, or say we're like finishing our Shakespeare study, I might have my older 3 sit with me, and so that would be one of the 3 items on each of their clipboards. The reason that I like this system and that I've used it in the past is because it maintains flexibility. My kids all have different schedules this summer. Like I said, sometimes some of them will be gone at camp and I'll only have a couple kids at home, and this way those ones can be working on some work. Sometimes they're all home and I can do some family type of things with them. If some of them have really split schedules that day and they need to work in the morning and then the other ones can work in the afternoon, that works as well. But it just gives us a way, keeping it at an hour, keeping it at only 3 things, but keeping it individual gives us a way to get work done every single day. And of course, there's a lot of grace given there. If we are going to be at the beach all day, I'm not going to make them come home at 4 and do an hour's worth of work. It's just for the more everyday type of summer day. They also keep their regular morning routine throughout the summer. So they still have their Bible time, they still have their chores, they still have that normal routine that has to happen before our day gets going as a family. And I also have them read every day, but there's usually a time, in the summertime, it's usually like I said, if there's a storm, if there's nothing going on, if siblings are getting at each other, I might just say like, all right guys, it's time to drop everything and read. Or for the most part, it's at bedtime for the reading. So yeah, those are my really simple summer learning plans. We're gonna have a summer surprise party here soon with some goodies and s'mores. We're gonna do a book tasting and I will put the info for that down below. And we are going to just have a clipboard system that takes no more than an hour, most likely, each day, along with our normal Bible reading time in the morning and our normal kind of like the skeleton schedule, you know, the normal framework of a typical daily schedule happening here at home. It's not like just totally lax, but we're definitely still having our meal times and our typical homemaking routine for me, typical chore routine for the kids. But yeah, I'm not ready to call it quits on this school year, but I need to, because 1, it's just good to pause and separate myself from the work a little bit. 2, we have a huge change next school year. We've got all 3 of my older ones are going into something new next year. My oldest is going to begin doing college classes. My second is going into high school. My 3rd is going into middle school. And then my 4th is starting 3rd grade, which has always felt like more effort than K through 2nd. And then my youngest is gonna start doing some preschool work with us. So this is the first year where I feel like I'm not just focusing more of my attention on one kid's big change for the school year. everybody's gonna have a little something new next school year, and I wanna just take a nice break and start prepping and planning and dreaming. Dreaming is my biggest thing. I need to have time to dream about our school year because I love homeschooling, and it's always healthy for me to step back and dream about our next year. That's always where the best planning happens for me. So I need to step aside. I need to start prepping and planning and dreaming about next school year so that I'm not trying to do it all in the month of August. And I also I'm ready to spend a good bit of summer with my kids here. My older ones feel so much older. They're doing so much more independently now. They're traveling independently. They are going off to plans with friends without me having to drop them off and pick them up anymore. And time is really fleeting, and I want that time with them. I also want to take a break from the school and play with my toddler, my preschooler, and help my other one recover from her surgery, and I don't know, I'm ready for a break. I'm ready to enjoy our summer, but also very much aware of the fact that we have a bit of work left to do. So those are our summer plans. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.